Alright kids, let's say you're an 80s baby like me. I know when I was 21 and I'd hear music from the 80s, it would sound old to me. Not bad old, but I can tell it was from a different time. Do y'all think it's the same for a 21-year-old now when they hear music from the 2000s? Does Frontin sound old to them? Now that I think about it, that's a rhetorical question. Gen Z, don't you come up in my comment section and ruin this for me, because it's almost been 20 years since Frontin debuted, and it was reportedly recorded in March of 2003. So now's a good enough time as ever to talk about it. Not that I need any explanations. I mean, I said in my video about Justin Timberlake's album Justified that I'd find any excuse in order to talk about the Neptunes. So here it is. They're my favorite music producers. By they, I mean Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo. Both of them, the production duo. And before I continue, seeing how Pharrell gets most of the notoriety, and for good reason, I can understand why, I want to give Chad the space and opportunity to explain what he brings to the Neptune sound.
I mean, I consider myself like a band, you know what I mean? Like, you got a song, let me be your band. I'll fill it in what I can, make it sound good, do what I can to make sure it's a dope song. Sometimes the song is already done, maybe just a beat. Probably doesn't need anything, so I actually might take stuff out, you know what I mean?
Pharrell and Chad produced Frontin, and at the time of its release, Williams insisted that the single was a one-off, and that he was purely a producer and not an artist in his own right. However, Frontin was also featured on the Neptunes' 2003 compilation album, The Neptunes Presents Clones, and later, Pharrell would release his own solo debut studio album, In My Mind, in 2006. Frontin was a moment, a time. I still remember where I was and what I was doing the first time I heard it. Nothing interesting, but that speaks to what this song is. I was driving down Hamilton Road in Whitehall on my way to Rooster's Wings in order to visit a friend. It was nighttime, clear skies, warm enough to wear a short sleeve shirt, but you could get away with wearing long sleeves. I pulled into the parking lot during the second chorus and listened to the rest of the song before getting out of the car. Now, Frontin begins with the Neptunes' signature 4-count start. According to Wikipedia, the drum beat was heavily influenced by the Beatles' 1965 track, In My Life. And the bass during the bridge is influenced by Stevie Wonder. Now, for this, I'll compare a song Stevie did for Michael Jackson called I Can't Help It. No thug will act tough when the bridge of Frontin comes on. According to Genius.com, when highlighting the lyrics of the song's chorus, the website says, Frontin is about acting like you're better than you are in order to impress someone. Pharrell is trying to act cool for this girl. He's ready to hide everything behind this false facade because he wants her to be his girl. This could also be the other way around from the girl's point of view. I found this interesting review which said, that sparse, airy beat, the best the Neptunes have ever done in my opinion, sounds nice and warm, particularly during the instrumental before Jay-Z's verse. But there's something lonely about it too. Pharrell's vocals only add to that feeling too. Far from panty-dropping falsetto, it's mewling and fragile in a way that even the most sensitive R&B singers usually avoid. Listening to this song, you feel like you're sitting in a deluxe bachelor pad, waiting nervously for a call you're starting to think will never come. That bachelor's pad would have a half pipe too. I've been trying to describe what this song means to me, but then there's the music video and what it means to others. GQ described the cultural significance of the music video like this. The vision of a hip-hop driven, streetwear-inflected lifestyle presented by Frontin in 2003 was basically the blueprint for everything that became cool in the 18 years since. It was the stuff that Supreme was made of. Frenchie Says Relax on Instagram explained it this way. The music video was the world's introduction to Billionaire Boys Club, Pharrell's streetwear brand with Japanese designer Nigo. And debuting BBC in this fashion was an incredible flex. The brand wasn't even available to the public yet when the music video dropped. A masterclass in marketing that, according to Pharrell, wasn't necessarily a part of the vision for the video. More importantly, the music video was an accurate depiction of who Pharrell was and what he represented. The video launched his BBC brand with Nigo, successfully incorporated a blend of skateboard culture with hip hop, and in general, just showed people having a good time. In retrospect, this video was Pharrell and represented skateboard P in the best way possible. And what better songs to use than Frontin'? In Complex's oral history of Billionaire Boys Club, Pharrell says, "It was calculated in the sense that I knew what I wanted to see in my video, but not in the sense of, oh, we're about to sell this many t-shirts. Not because we were going to launch the brand, but because I just wanted to see that. I wanted to present everybody with my world because at the time, I was making Billionaire Boys Club stuff for myself." The video is filled with cameos from Pharrell's friends, including Pusha T and Chad Hugo, Lenny Kravitz, Nigo, and also introduced the world to Lanisha Cole and teenage Lauren London. So, the actress Lauren London was 17 and in high school at the time this video was shot. She was a love interest in the plot, not good. Then there's Lanisha Cole. Oh my goodness. She will go on to be one of Drew's beauties on The Price is Right. She's a photographer and model now, I think, and was in multiple music videos too. Plus, well, here's Wanda Thompson on the importance of Frontin' by Pharrell. A year after Frontin', Cole returns to share the screen with Pharrell Williams in Maybe by NERD, which was featured on the band's album Fly or Die, where she plays Williams' girlfriend in the flick. Whether it was a subconscious or conscious decision to display dark-skinned women in lead roles, who are often overlooked in rap/hip hop and R&B videos, it was an important one. In a video posted by Lanisha Cole earlier last year on her Snapchat, she reunited with Williams and stated the following: "Do you know what it's like putting a dark-skinned girl in a video like that? Do you know what you did? Do you know? Do you know what you did for life?" With Pharrell replying, dark-skinned girls are everything. Frontin' was the song of the summer. I'm not going to front like it was the best, most complete, well-written song, but it doesn't have to be. It did its job. It serves its purpose. The Neptunes are in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, by the way. See, when Pharrell demos the chorus or bridge to a song that he and Chad would produce in order to provide an idea for what an artist could or should do, the rapper or singer would just say, "Nah, Pharrell, I want you to do it. You sing it." And I forgot to mention that Frontin' was the first time Pharrell sung lead on a song as a solo artist. We all knew Pharrell could sing. Think of his hook in Excuse Me Miss that he did earlier in 2003 for Jay-Z. Speaking of, Jay's 8 bars in Frontin' was one of the most efficient verses in a song since Tupac's and Digital Underground's same song. This was also the first lyrical confirmation that Jay was with Beyonce. At least we took it that way. Anyways, Pharrell sends songs with his voice on them to artists he wants to work with, which is also what happened with Frontin'. But this song was meant for someone else.
Prince was so cool. I've tried for years to make records for him. My first attempt at making a record with him, was Frontin'.
Frontin' was with Prince? That's crazy.
Quote, and to be clear and to be honest, songs that I ended up putting out by myself were always songs that I wrote for other people. I made Frontin' for Prince. And even Happy, I wrote that for CeeLo Green. Can you imagine Happy being sung by CeeLo? And imagine if Prince had sung Frontin'. I mean, come on. It's still interesting to wonder what Prince's version would sound like. Who knows why Prince turned it down? I mean, he refused to do Bad with Michael Jackson because 1, he said there's nothing badass about MJ. 2, the opening line was, "Your butt is mine," and quote, "I'm not saying it to him, and he for damn sure ain't saying it to me." And 3, just to troll MJ, really. Quincy Jones couldn't even get Prince to do Bad with Michael. By the way, earlier I mentioned that the Neptunes are my favorite producers, but if I were to name the best non-classical producer, as the Grammys would call it, I would say it's Quincy Jones. And you know what? Quincy Jones was almost 50 when he made Thriller, the same age as Pharrell is now. Quincy just turned 90 last week as of this recording, and Pharrell turns 50 on April 5th. So, happy birthday. More of a reason for me to give an ode to Frontin'. Furthermore, this shows that the best is yet to come for Pharrell. Again, Frontin' was Williams' debut solo single, peaking at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in 2003. It also peaked at number 1 on the Hot 100 R&B/hip hop songs that same year. It was the 34th best-selling song of 2003 in the US, according to Billboard magazine. Meanwhile, the Neptunes' 2003 compilation album, The Neptunes Present Clones, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in August 2003. That year, the Neptunes had produced 43% of songs played on US radio. Frontin' was Pharrell's biggest solo hit until 2013's Happy. Happy, however, was a global phenomenon that was by far the most successful song of 2014. It gave Williams his first #1 single as a lead artist and stayed at the top spot for longer than any other song in 2014. Williams also won 2 Grammy Awards for the song. With that said, the idea that Pharrell can have another one, a time capsule for the next generation, proves that he's the truth. I mean, the Neptunes produced the song that I named this YouTube channel after, so we gonna be all right.
Sexy. Figure it out.